Okay. So at the Minnesota Minority Education Partnership, what we do is we focus mostly on research and policy and using that to influence systems to create changes that are going to be beneficial and increase the success of students of color, specifically in Minnesota schools. So about 2 years ago, one of the networks within MMEP is the African American Male in Education Advisory. And they look at issues that are specifically affecting African American boys in our system. So through that, one of the indicators that were most detrimental to the success of African American boys was the issue of disproportionality in discipline. And so from that, we decided that we are going to take that on as an issue and house that in MMEP and figure out ways to address that systemically and through community collaboration. So we developed the Solutions Not Suspensions campaign. And the campaign is prefaced on 4 major points in the process. And if you haven't picked up a copy of the Youth Voices piece or the Solutions Not Suspensions brief, those are just kind of 2 documents that kind of lay out the mission and the research behind what we're doing. So first and foremost, what we want to do is research promising policies and practices that are effectively closing this discipline gap that exists in our nation and bring those to Minnesota as examples that we can utilize and build on as community and as schools to really change how we're using discipline and how we're interacting with our students so that we're empowering them as opposed to stripping them of their dignity. Secondly, we wanted to make this a coalition. So we want to identify different organizations, different community leaders that are working on this issue and figure out a way for us all to get together and figure out how each of our individual strengths as far as organizations and people can be utilized to not attack this issue, but address this issue with each of our strengths being highlighted and used to the fullest of their capability. So we want to really connect and make this a community conversation so that we all know how to best, with our own skills, address this issue and bring it to district administrators, bring it to district level so that they know that all of us are looking for the same type of changes. And then we want to inform the community and gather youth input as much as possible. We did in May, earlier this year, host a youth summit that was designed specifically to address students about this issue and get their feedback and hear what they think is going on in their schools. What interactions are they having with their teachers? What do they think can be changed so that they feel more connected to their schools, their teachers feel safer, have a stronger community, and we can handle issues of misbehavior in different ways. So we had about 85 youth attend this event, and it was amazing the things that they came up with. And the Youth Voices piece summarizes everything, the 5 recommendations that they came up with for reforming discipline policy and discipline in general in their schools. So we really want to enhance the voice of students and bring that to leaders so that we can create bridges so that students are able to directly bring their voice to those leaders. And then yeah, we want to connect with people to advocate about the different things that can happen. So with the research briefs that we do and collecting the data with the different districts, we just put this out there so that people are going up to them with facts. You know, we know that your discipline rates are ridiculous. We know that your discipline code of conduct is outdated. We know that you're using language to criminalize students. In Minneapolis Public Schools, their discipline referral reporting system uses words like offenders, offense. They're using criminalized language to talk about discipline with students, and that inherently makes you think of a reaction that is going to also be criminalizing, demonizing, not looking at a student as a child that can be addressed as a learning situation, as something as we can come together with that student and talk about what is the issue, what needs to happen, why are you acting in this way, and here are some better ways to address that issue. So there's a lot of different things that we can be doing, and I think that it's important for all of us to be having these conversations consistently and working together to inform people and get their feedback and bring that to district leaders. One of the nice things about the Minnesota Minority Education Partnership is that we do have partnerships with school districts and universities within Minnesota so that we do have a chance to sit at those tables with superintendents and Office of Equity and Diversity in both St. Paul and Minneapolis Public Schools and talk to them about revising their discipline policies, get their drafts, analyze their drafts, let them know, you know, nationally, these are some things that are happening that you need to think about incorporating in your policies so that we are creating something that is going to work for these students and not just keep perpetuating the same outcomes that we've seen. We no longer want race to be a predictor of outcomes for students. And once we come to that point, we'll reach a level where all students are being treated with the dignity and respect that they deserve. So we can continue that conversation.